Did y'all hear me? Say yes.
Any calls to have the crowd speak out, I will have, as the presiding officer, I will have the crowd removed. So I will ask you respectfully not to do that again. If you do it again, I'll have the entire crowd vacate the room.
Okay, they probably don't care. It's probably time to go eat lunch. Everybody's not afraid of you, okay?
But don't expect them to be.
Okay. Yeah, you do.
Okay.
So.
And Judge O'Hare, as my grandmother used to say, bless your heart.
Tim O'Hare, Matt Krause, and Manny Ramirez, you should be ashamed of yourselves. You're all dishonest, cheaters, and racist men.
All right, remove her from the building, please. Aguilar.
Welcome back to the channel, everybody. This Tarrant County Commissioners meeting happened on June 3rd, 2025. And yes, I am a little bit late posting this due to some recent legal issues that I encountered for walking on the wrong side of the road. Judge Tim O'Hare had a record number of people thrown out just for clapping, laughing, or criticizing him. It was an absolutely disgusting attack on people's First Amendment rights. The main issue from this meeting, Tarrant County hired PILF to redraw district lines. Local mayors and community leaders have called it blatant gerrymandering, possibly illegal. Hundreds showed up to speak against it, but all except 2 commissioners ignored the public and voted for it anyway. A lawsuit was filed the very next day, showing just how little Judge O'Hare cares about wasting tax people's money. First, I'll show you every clip of Judge O'Hare ejecting people from the meeting. Then we'll listen to some powerful and entertaining public comments, and some of those from community leaders. Make sure you stay until the end, where Commissioner Elisa Simmons directly challenges Judge O'Hare and speaks her mind. It was very powerful. Make sure you like the video, subscribe, and share it everywhere.
Mr. Blackwell, I rise to show my strong support for the existing commissioner's map, and I stand in strong opposition to all the maps presented by these racist law devils from the original slave colony, Virginia.
Remove him immediately.
What happened?
Well, I'm following the decorum policy. We're not going to be called racists. The end. Get him out. So next is Max Potenza.
Is
Glenda Diaz.
The decorum policy?
You read the decorum policy and you figure it out.
Is racist in the decorum policy channel?
Profane, slander, all those things.
It's racist.
Max Potenza, Glenda Diaz, and Geraldine Jackie Cox.
Mark.
Is Max Potenza here?
The word racist is not used in the decorum policy. What it prohibits is personal attacks, impertinent, profane, obscene, or slanderous remarks, threatening, disruptive, or unruly behavior, disruptive remarks.
So, people have said my name a couple times today. I don't, if it's an attack, it's an attack. I was elected to sit up here and listen to the people. So, question for you. If he's throwing folks out, can I throw folks out?
The presiding chair enforces the rules.
I'm sorry?
The presiding chair enforces the rules of decorum pursuant to the rules. You can certainly raise a point of order at any time, though.
Okay.
My name is Carla Palomares of Fort Worth and Precinct 4. This vote should not be happening right now. The current map is the only map that we need. If you even tried to listen to the majority of people who showed up over the past month, then you would know that. But you didn't listen, and you never will. You didn't even show your face, Tim, at any of the public hearings. That's despicable. Our current map is the only fair option. It's the only one implemented out of a transparent process. All of these other options are the embodiment of racism and white supremacy, and you'll fully know that. Tim, Matt, Manny, this whole process has been insulting insulting to us as community members and taxpayers and voters. The town halls were a waste of our time and resources. The past few meetings have been a waste of time and our resources. There are more important things this court needs to be addressing, like the sheriff running a death camp on our dime. You're violating our voting rights and human rights. Sadly, it's nothing new, and going forward with this vote today will only be writing yet another blank check and bankrupting our county and crippling our services out of your arrogance and self-interest. Move any map forward and you just affirm your hate for black and brown people.
Thank you.
So, the kid right here in the green shirt, remove that one from the room. Crystal Gaden, I'm not going to fall for that one again. Jerry McMander. Art Brender, they got me on that one. And Monique Olivo.
And Judge O'Hare, as my grandmother used to say, bless your heart.
Manny, I know you love being in front of the camera and reminding everyone of how you used to be a police officer in charge of upholding the law. Well, guess what? Racial gerrymandering is against the law. So, you can go ahead and arrest Timmy here, and Maddie here, and yourself, because y'all are breaking the law by trying to racially gerrymander Tarrant County. I know you won't do that because he's got that leash a little too tight on you. But you know what? I really actually feel sorry for you three, because when your children get older, they're going to have to live with this legacy of racial gerrymandering that you have left behind for them, and how ashamed they are going to be of you, and you for trying to intentionally steal and dilute the voting power of black and brown voters in Tarrant County. And in your case, Manny, stealing the voting power of your own people. How embarrassing is that? And you know what, Tim? I think you need to sit there and be quiet and actually listen to your constituents, because your constituents are telling you that they do not want these maps.
Get her out of here.
When are you going to listen to them?
Thank you. Renee Thomas.
Members of the court, I rise today because I cannot sit idly by as civil rights are disintegrated in this county. There is a way in ensuring a full one Republican majority on this court without discriminating on the basis of race. The maps proposed do one thing and one thing alone: discriminate on the basis of race, which will set this county on the pathway of legal disputes that will cost the county millions of dollars, all at the behest of that man, the judge, who is nothing but an enemy of the people and a blatant racist.
Remove him from the building. Next is Tyler Peshka.
Even the Star Telegram editorial board had said this is not a good idea. This should not pass at this time. So I say to all those folks, particularly the registered non-voters, if this measure passes, if they'll ignore all those people, they'll sure ignore you too. When folks tell you who they are, believe them.
Thank you. The lady and the officers, there's a lady on the aisle that just turned around and looked. The one next to her, please remove her from the courtroom. No, the one next to you. Step forward, I'll show you. There's a lady on the aisle right there in a gray sweatshirt, the one right next to her. Remove her from the courtroom. She keeps clapping every time something.
I don't understand how I'm good enough to fight for your country. I'm good enough to put my life on the line for your country. I'm good enough to pay taxes in this county. But what I really have to say, you're not interested in really listening to. You said talk to the PIP lawyers. That's like asking the fox for the key to the hen house. We know who they are. We know what they represent. Then we writing a check to somebody that won't even come in the room and talk to us. I know why sheriff don't come in the room and talk to us. Because every time that idiot speaks, he digs himself in a deep hole. What has happened to democracy and freedom of speech? If your feelings are so tender that when people make an accusation about your character, the result of that is to just kick them out of this room. That is ridiculous. This is the United States of America. And just like the leadership of our country, we throw the Constitution under the bus and everybody's doing what they want to do. It's a damn shame.
The rules of decorum in these meetings, I'd strongly ask that you revisit those. I don't like the atmosphere of fear in this room. When I'm here, when I'm thinking of what I'm going to write, what I'm going to say, is this going to get me kicked out? Am I going to get eyeballed? Is somebody going to stand close to me who's armed and I'm not? You know, and it's for other people too. If somebody accidentally emits a cuss word and then immediately apologizes, Anthony Johnson Jr.'s sister did that, and she was removed. It just creates all kinds of problems and chaos and fear in the room is what I'm saying. I think you could remove that and still have a functional meeting. People need to be free to express themselves. It's not your fault, it's not my fault that the English language is degraded to the point that people use the words they use, but this is the way people communicate and express themselves, and I just wish you'd let people do that.
Tarrant County is the reddest county in the nation. There was never any redistricting process. For a bunch of Christians, y'all really love lying. Y'all don't even know what map y'all want. I'll go with the most conservative map. Clueless. Y'all do realize the most conservative map is the current one, since it will save the county millions of dollars. It's not conservative, but repressive. Do y'all think just because you vote Republican, the lawsuit won't affect you? Tiny Tim has been run out of town before for costing them millions of dollars. It's looking like we'll have to do the same thing again. Oh, and happy Pride Month, especially to Matt Cross, Bo French, and Carlos Turcios. It's okay to come out the closet, guys. Also, Timothy, do your kids still ask you why they hate you in Farmers Branch so much?
Shirley White. Is Shirley White present?
I'm Reverend Ryan Price, and I'm here to state my strong opposition to this redistricting. Despite whatever purported motivations and intents have been expressed to publicly justify this process, the end result of each and every one of these maps is a cracking and packing of minority districts and a mockery of our democracy. This is unfair, unethical, illegal, and it's mighty ugly. In 1812, Massachusetts Governor Elbridge Gerry so manipulated a voting district that it took on the shape of a salamander. Folks called it a gerrymander. The same thing is being done here today, only this time it doesn't look like a salamander. It looks like a snake.
Hello, Judge. I'm here to support the most conservative map for redistricting. Tarrant County is the reddest county in the nation, and Republicans deserve to have equal representation in our county commissioner districts. We hold 100% of the countywide offices, and we hold over 86% of all other offices in Tarrant County. The redistricting based on partisan lines has been affirmed and approved at the Supreme Court level. There is nothing illegal about it. The decries of racism is demoralizing and offensive to our democratic processes. We need to stop using those terms. People of all races love each other. People of all races are on both sides of the partisan aisle. I am here to support the most conservative map, which from my estimation is either map 1, 6, or 7. Please vote for the most conservative map. Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have Bishop Kirkland?
How do you ignore 80% of the mayors of Tarrant County? How do you do that? This, though it's about gerrymandering, that's not the issue. It is about fracking and packing, but that's not the issue. The real issue is a Malcolm X move. The Malcolm X move says, by any means necessary. Your whole objective is to get rid of her. You don't care how much money it costs. You don't care what we have to go through. Not to mention all the lawsuits that are soon to follow, because this won't be, you win today, but this won't be the end. This is only beginning. We're gonna fight like hell. This is not going to just to be something that we let pass by. If I hear one more lily white person get up here and talk about racism, and you ain't been black a day in your life, I'm gonna throw up.
I'm a Tarrant County resident of 31 years. I'm also a TCU grad with a minor in political science, so I know a power grab when I see one. Besides, one commissioner already told us as much. Y'all should get your story straight. Because if this is truly about representing the people of Tarrant County, then why did 4 city councils and 10 mayors representing more than 80% of the county population sign on to a letter opposing this? I'll tell you why. Because they see this for the anti-democratic, with a small d, move that it is. You're attempting to disenfranchise black and brown communities, and I tell you that you should be ashamed, but I'm afraid you no longer feel any shame. We know this is the last last desperate play of a group of people who know their time is running out. You have moved so far to the extreme right that your constituency doesn't recognize you. So instead of voters picking their leaders, you're attempting to pick your voters and wasting taxpayer money in the process. You're cowards to pull this now. You're cowards for not showing up to the public forums and defend what you're doing, and all the excuses in the world won't change that. And to the ones opposed to this, I say peace be to you if you're willing to fight for it.
I'm Chaplain Rich Stoglin. I reside in Precinct 2. My support is for the Republican-controlled map, thus ensuring a guarantee of 3 Republican county conservative commissioners. The reason is as follows. We must bring the heights of competence from the depth of incompetence, the bad breath of frequent and incredulous disrespect during public hearings, compounded with the coffin of decorum being constantly replaced with the darkness of vulgarity and screams of empty rhetoric lacking facts, resulting in no lasting measurable change for all of the citizens. As president of the Frederick Douglass Republicans of Tarrant County, I stand behind this statement. Precinct 2 deserves better representation with solid, rational results, ensuring a brighter future, free of delays or excuses for all the citizens. Simplify.
Good morning, everybody, particularly Matt, who's a former colleague of mine. I'm Lon Burnham, and I want to thank you for the opportunity to speak to you today. After my 6-month banishment, which was an obvious violation of my First Amendment rights, the new commissioners may not be aware that I have spoken on this agenda item concerning county-funded junkets on numerous occasions.
Mr. Burnham, one moment. Hey, gentlemen, will y'all please tell the people outside to keep it down? We can't, every time that door is open, we can't hear speakers, we can't hear each other. Proceed.
Thank you. A particular concern to me is the many times the county has funded junkets for the sheriff to attend events that are, in essence, Christian nationalist pep rallies full of racist messaging and content. I can't speak to the agenda item today whether or not it includes such an opportunity for junket, but I just want to call to everybody's attention that by and large, that concern was ignored, and it needs to be addressed. The sheriff needs to address not junket.
Okay, there is nothing on this agenda related to sheriff travel. This is...
It says out-of-state travel
Precinct
request.
1 commissioner, Precinct 2 commissioner, and CDA's office.
Okay,
so if you want,
I was called to the...
If you want to reserve comments about sheriff travel, you can do that in public comments. No, that's not on this agenda.
10A3, consideration of out-of-state travel request.
Yes, and there's 3 items on there. None of them are the sheriff.
Well, I wasn't speaking specifically to the sheriff. I was speaking
I think you have to speak to specific agenda items, and that's not a specific agenda item. That's
agenda
a public
item
comment
10A3.
Okay. I'm not going to argue with you. Either you can talk about these 3, or you can hold it to public comment. Don't care which, but you're not going to sit here and talk about the sheriff 3 minutes.
Okay, since I didn't hear what agenda item you're on, are you on agenda 10?
Yeah. Okay. Your time is up. Thank you.
Well,
you can do it. You can come back to public comments if you want. Okay, Mayor Evans. And then following Mayor Evans is Isabel Young.
Good morning, Judge, and to the council. Mayor Michael Evans, Mayor of the City of Mansfield, Texas. While I do not speak today on behalf of the full council, but as a citizen and resident of our beloved Tarrant County and many of my constituents, please note my concerns for the plan to realign our county precinct boundaries. Any redistricting process deserves public engagement, collaboration, consensus building, and most importantly, time. And I strongly believe and agree with Tarrant County that redistricting is fundamental to the democratic process of conducting elections, but not by any means necessary. This must be done under the full scrutiny of the law and with all manner of participation. My concern is with ensuring that the current county process is compliant with the law. And as presented, the current proposed maps could be subject to legal challenges at both the state and federal level per the Texas Election Code and also the U.S. Voting Rights Act. Thank you, sir.
Good morning, y'all. I'm Jim Ross, Mayor of the City of Arlington. I'm joined here with Mayor Boardingham, Mayor of the City of Forest Hills, Texas. On May 23rd, I and the mayors of Fort Worth, Grand Prairie, Mansfield, Everman, Haltom City, Forest Hill, and Edgecliff Village provided this court with a letter detailing our opposition to the current redistricting process. We are very concerned about the current process may not comply with state and federal law. There are now 7 proposed maps could be vulnerable to legal challenges under the Texas Election Code and the U.S. Voting Rights Act. We urge this court to delay redistricting until further data, newer data, is available and thoroughly evaluated each proposed map for legal compliance. We suggest that the legality of all 7 proposed maps be independently verified, not by the people who drew the maps, but by an independent consultant, and we will collaborate with y'all as need be. Thank y'all.
Thank you. Judge O'Hare and County Commissioners, my name is Nina Oishi, and I'm an attorney with the Texas Civil Rights Project, a nonpartisan organization. I'm here to oppose this plan. As we wrote in a letter to this court, the mid-cycle redistricting process appears rushed without the procedural safeguards from 2021. There have been no publicly posted map criteria and no public drawing sessions. Based on our expertise litigating voting rights issues, these changes support a conclusion that the redistricting is motivated by discriminatory intent in violation of the 14th and 15th Amendments of the Constitution. Consequences could be dire, trapping the county in costly litigation. Galveston County has spent over $4 million in ongoing litigation after enacting a 2021 redistricting plan that dismantled a majority-minority commissioner's district, much like here. And again, that is ongoing. Looking out for your constituents would mean taking the time to wait and to adopt a fair and transparent process. Thank you.
Joe Palmer, Precinct 1, longtime Republican voter, opposed to the maps. Regarding the accusation that the new precinct lines are racist, it doesn't have to be true. It just has to have the appearance. Map 7, I looked on the website Sunday and only saw maps 1 through 4 displayed. Was map 7 added since then? Other reasons opposed. We don't need to. We have a 3-2 majority with C2 being a swing seat. They can't advance anything ideological without Republican agreement. And for those instructed to be here to support conservative ideology, I'm happy to tell you that the scope of the function of county government is narrowly constrained by statute. We need you at school board meetings and city council meetings and in the Capitol. This will hurt the Republican Party in Tarrant County, particularly on state house races and countywide seats. This whole thing looks bad and will look bad to voters to whom we will need to appeal to before the midterm election. The revolution was mentioned. If there is anything more American than dissenting voice, it would be protecting and embracing the dissenting voice of others. Relating to this, the timing is objectionable, mostly because the only voice of concern and advocacy on the court for the tragic jail deaths is Alyssa Simmons.
Thank you, sir.
Sometimes we have no choice but to take the crumbs that fall from the master's table.
Thank you.
I'm speaking on behalf of the Cesar Chavez and Dolores Huerta Committee of Tarrant County. We oppose this racist redistricting proposal, just as we oppose your attempt to steal our holiday. I'm wearing a t-shirt today with a reminder of the Constable Robert McGinty's name on it because I want everybody to remember the effectiveness of the last redistricting that was fundamentally racist, that drew an incumbent black constable out of office. This must stop. It must stop now. The reason the previous court chose not to completely withdraw the lines is because it was totally unnecessary. And for those of you who keep misusing the word conservative, conservative means not radically changing things, and it means not stealing something from somebody else. And that's what this redistricting process is about. Orwellian newspeak will not change the reality of racism.
Any other comments from the commissioners?
Yes. So this is a monumental day in Tarrant County history. Over 200 speakers came today to be heard on the topic of redistricting. It speaks to the strong desire of our constituents to be heard and the necessity of it. Voting is our voice. It is the people expressing their will, their right. Voters should choose their elected officials, as you've heard today, not the elected officials choosing their voters. Slowly, this truth is fading before our very eyes, along with the purity of the right to vote. History will not applaud us if we choose any other map than the current map. These truths are made self-evident is the opening line of the Declaration of Independence, but truths are not at work today. Only weak leaders bully. Only weak leaders bully others. And I'm about sick and tired of weak leaders, particularly men. So I want PILF to come out here and answer my questions. And Judge O'Hare, quite interesting that today you cannot stomach being called a racist. However, you are memorialized on video on the Wolf and the Shepherd's podcast proclaiming, quote, "If you are a Republican office holder and you haven't been called a racist, then you haven't done a thing." So be proud of being called a racist today. Those referring to these maps and this process, and even you as a racist, have a constitutional right to do that. We have got to stop sitting up here violating people's First Amendment right. This is crazy. Again, we ran for these positions. Everybody doesn't love me. They call me all kinds of names. I take it. I take it on the phone. I'm not a wimp. I'm not weak. I put up with tons of bullying from you, but I'm still here. Where's PILF? Where are they?
They're available if the court would like to go into.
They need to be available out here, Chandler. Who's stopping them from coming?
I will answer that question.
Okay.
They have told me what they're going to do.
They don't get to tell us, Tim, what they're going, Judge, what they're going to do.
Well, and you don't have subpoena power to make them come out here. So they have said they're going to be back there to answer legal questions if you have any legal questions.
I don't
and if you don't have any legal questions, they're not going to come out here and testify or be questioned. And that's what they have told me, and that's what's going to happen.
No, that's not how that works.
I think it's how it's going to work. But
it may
not be how you wish it worked.
It's not how it should work. They are being paid by this county. So you directed them to stay back there.
No, I did not direct them to stay back there.
Okay.
They told me what they were going to do, and I think it's a good idea, actually.
They are the vendor. They don't get to tell us what they're going to do. Tell them to get out here, Chandler.
And we made them aware of your request, and they made the same statement.
Where are they posted up at?
I believe they're back here.
Back where? What room?
Back here in the admin area.
Gerald, go get them.
That's.
Tell them
we're not going to have a scene and a show here.
I'm going to finish my comments.
They've made their statement. They're going to follow what they've said.
A vendor does not tell the customer what they're going to do. Who does that? They ran. We're paying these people. Did y'all hear me? Say yes.
Any calls to have the crowd speak out, I will have, as the presiding officer, I will have the crowd removed. So I will ask you respectfully not to do that again. If you do it again, I'll have the entire crowd vacate the room.
Okay. They probably don't care. It's probably time to go eat lunch. Everybody's not afraid of you, okay?
But don't expect them to be.
Okay. Yeah, you do.
Okay.
So